Okay, Bits, a place for kids learn to be creative thinkers. I'll be your host, Zoey Brown. During this Bedtime Book Adventures, we have a very special guest, Alani. Clap it up! Woo-woo! And she is my little sister today. So, today we will be learning how to not be afraid even when you are. You can do anything you want to be. And Violet Takes Flight by Kenyatta Scott, illustrated by Michelle Valenta. Here's the dedication page. To my baby sister, Rashana. You taught me how to defy gravity. Thank you for doing what feels right, even when you are afraid. Shining your light gave me permission to do the same. Love, your protective sister. Violet Takes Flight. Violet woke up to Derek kneeling on her bed with a plane in his hands. The sun was shining and Derek had a huge smile on his face. Violet knew why he was so excited. They were going in an airplane today for the very first time. Violet smiled. Derek's excitement was contagious. If Violet had to be completely honest, she was both excited and a little afraid because she had never been on a plane before. She was a little afraid of a new experience, but she put on her brave face. She knew that Daddy and Derek were both excited to fly to visit Stepmom. Stepmommy was working in California. She wanted them to come to the amusement parks while she was there for the weekend. Violet was excited to go on all the rides, but she knew that in order to get there, they would have to go on a plane. Violet and Derek got dressed. Daddy helped Violet pack her clothes and some fun toys that night before. All they had to do was get dressed, eat breakfast, and then out the door they went. Violet could feel herself getting nervous as they were driving to the airport. Daddy looked in the mirror at Violet and asked why she was so quiet. Derek was talking nonstop about all the fun they would do in California. He was looking forward to sitting in the window seat and look out the plane. Violet told Daddy she was afraid of flying. To Violet's surprise, Daddy told her it was okay for her to be afraid. He promised that he would be by her side the entire time. That made Violet feel a little better, but she was so nervous about the new experience. Daddy told her just wait and see. He promised her it wasn't as scary as she thought it would be. They arrived at the airport and parked the car. They carried their bags inside. Violet had a pink bag that Stepmommy brought her. Derek had a green one. She grabbed the handle of her bag tighter as they approached the plane. To Violet's surprise, a young woman was wearing pants, uniform, was standing next to the door of the plane. She said hello to them as they were walking off. Violet was surprised because on TV she only saw boats flying planes. Seeing the woman confidently standing outside of the cockpit distracted Violet from her fear of the time being. She observed how confident and happy the young lady looked. The lady even looked excited to be flying. Violet thought to herself, well, she's not afraid. Maybe I shouldn't be either. They found their seats on the plane. Derek raced towards the window seat. He happily looked outside. Once they sat down, Violet tugged on Daddy's arm. She said, Daddy, I didn't know women flew airplanes too. Violet was amazed. Daddy told Violet about how women of color had been flying airplanes for a while. Violet could tell this was something Daddy liked also. Violet asked Daddy if he was afraid of flying too. He said he wasn't afraid of flying, but whenever he did something for the first time, even as an adult, he was a little bit excited and afraid. Daddy then shared about what helps him is thinking about what he is not the first person to do something new. He smiled and asked Violet would she like to go in the cockpit and talk to the pilot about flying. Again, Violet was surprised. She did not know they could do that. She excitedly nodded her head yes. Violet had almost forgotten about her fear of flying now. She was all caught up in the excitement of talking to the pilot. Daddy walked Violet and Derek up to the front of the plane. The pilot welcomed them inside the cockpit. She looked so happy to talk to them. She pointed out and named a few buttons for them. Then Violet asked her big question. She asked the pilot, "Were you afraid of flying?" The pilot shared that when she was a little afraid when she went on her first flight with her dad. She remembered holding on tightly to her daddy's hand. She shared that she was a teenager then. She said she loved flying so much she knew she wanted to be a pilot. She liked the feeling of being up in the clouds and being able to go to places really fast. She then shared with Violet and Derek that she thinks it is important for everyone to try something new, even if they are afraid. The pilot said that she remembered her daddy's words of wisdom about life and fear. Her daddy told her that she could be anything and do anything she wanted to in life if she did not let fear stop her. He told her it was okay to be afraid, but do it anyway, if it felt right and it was not harmful to her or others. Hearing that made Violet happy. Instead of her being afraid now, she was proud of herself for going on the plane and honestly talking to Daddy and the pilot about her fear. She was also very proud of the pilot. She thought, she looks just like me. If she can do it, so can I. I can do anything. I want to do anything I want to do and be anything I want to be. Even if I am afraid, I will still try. Daddy thanked the pilot. She gave Violet and Derek wings to pin on themselves. Violet raced Derek back to the seats. She wanted the window seat now. Daddy said they could take turns in by the window after the pilot announces that it was safe to take off their seatbelts. Violet sat back, very happy in her seat. She was now excited to visit sunny California, see Stepmommy, and ride on rides. She also couldn't wait to tell Stepmommy how she did something for the first time, afraid, but that she did it anyway. Today was a great day after all. Here's my favorite part of the book, conversation questions. Not many books have this. Here we go. Number 1. Violet was afraid to take her first flight. Name a time when you were afraid. Well, what happened? So, a time when I was afraid was when I was going on the monkey bars for my first time. And, Lani, what was the time when you were afraid?
I was afraid when it was dark and I had bad dreams.
Question number 2. Violet's daddy and the pilot helped her feel better. What are some of the things they told her? They told her that she could do anything she wanted to be if she did not let fear stop her. And also, what else did they say, Lani?
They said...
You can't remember? That's okay. Question number 3. Who can you talk to when you are afraid? I can always talk to my mom and dad, my big sister, and my little sister. Who can you talk to?
I can talk to my dad and my mom.
And it is signed by Kenyatta Scott. Here you can read about the pilot and the author. The end. That was a good book to teach us to not be afraid even when you are. You can do anything you ever want to be. I'll see you next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central for Kid Bates with Zoey Brown, Bedtime Book Adventures. Good night.